Blog Talk Radio.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walking His Ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Furman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed. Let's go!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking This Wave Impact Voice. I'm your host, Furman Jackson Jr., broadcasting again live from my hometown, my city of Mobile, Alabama. I hope everybody having a great Sunday, of course. I hope everybody having a good time, chilling out, hanging out, loving, enjoying life to the fullest. That's what it's all about. I just want to thank God for once again for allowing us to see this day, a day of many blessings. It's by His mercy and grace that we still here. I just want to give a big shout out to my father. I got a chance to spend time with him today, Furman Jackson Sr., of course. It was just good to be able to spend time with my dad. Value your parents while they're still here. And I talked to my mom earlier, checking on her also. Not doing this stuff to be bragging or be seen, but appreciate your parents while they're still here, because you never know when the Lord's going to call them from here. So cherish that time with your family, spend time with your loved ones, and love on each other. And like I said, I've been busy all week here on Impact Voice. And I've been truly having a good time from my cousin, Miss Keisha Kent, out of St. Louis. I had a good time with her on Friday. Then also the ladies from Atlanta, K-Mo and C-Mac. They was on there. And then I had a good time with C-Now on yesterday evening. Awesome brother, man. Very real to the heart. And I have another special guest here on Impact, a very unique lady with very different talents, but she will let you know that she's just an ordinary woman. I'm about to be ready to pull my guest in, and I just want to let her know, welcome to Walking This Wave Impact Voice.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm so excited to be on here.
And I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule to accept the invite to be here on Impact Voice. I'm ready to have a good time with you and ready to chop it up with you. And I know you got a lot of great things you want to offer here to listening viewers here on Impact Voice. So I want you to introduce yourself to the audience that's getting a chance to meet you for the very first time.
Okay, great. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sophia Latriece. I am a mother, author, speaker, coach, all that good stuff wrapped up in one. I consider myself as an ordinary woman, and basically what I mean by that is that I'm no different from anybody else. I just chose to finally walk in my purpose, use my God-given gifts so that doors can start to open up for me, and I can start receiving the fruit of my labor.
And that's awesome stuff, and I know you mentioned that you're an ordinary woman. So I just want to ask that question, like when it comes to the word ordinary, break down to the listening audience what that means when they hear you say you're an ordinary woman.
See, what I mean by that is a lot of times when people walk or step into their destiny, for instance, celebrities, movie stars, and things of that nature, we tend to idolize those people or put them up on a pedestal when the fact of the matter is they're just ordinary people. The only difference is they've taken the time to work in their craft, to use their gifts. The Bible says that a man's gift makes room for him and places him before great men. And basically that's what happens. When you use your gift, when you tap into the Spirit, when you allow yourself to be led by the Creator, then He can begin to direct those paths for you. Those people have no special powers. They're not like the Avengers or anything like that. They're not superheroes. They're just ordinary people who've decided to walk into their craft and use their gifts. That's why I consider myself as an ordinary woman. Anything that I've done, anybody else can do that and greater.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's very interesting, because a lot of people, lately, I know I've been calling a lot of people the GOAT. I've been calling people iconic. I've been calling people icons.
Right.
And a lot of people don't, because you don't have to be a big time celeb to be iconic. You don't have to be a big time athlete to be the GOAT. I call you that because anytime you're walking in your purpose and you're walking in your destiny, I speak those things and encourage those things right where you at, because if you're faithful over a few things, he's going to make you rule over many things. So I celebrate you, what you're doing. You're the GOAT, you're icon, you're iconic, and I say those things because we acknowledge those that's already, like you said, they use their gifts, and the Bible said God gives without repentance, of course. So everybody has a gift to use, and they utilize their gift to make room for them. So everybody has a gift. So I'm glad you broke that down to the listening audience so they get a clear picture, clear understanding. Like, she ordinary, I could be ordinary too. So I'm glad you brought that up.
And it makes you more relatable as well. It makes you more relatable to the people. Like, I don't ever want to seem like I'm too far away from anybody. Like, I don't want to ever think or feel like I'm too high. I always want to be able to connect with people. I've never really been a people person, but it brings me great joy and delight to be able to connect with people and to help people grow. That's one of the gifts that I have. I'm a purpose pusher. I push people to their limits. When you come around me, you're either going to recognize that you somebody and can be somebody, or I'm going to be too overwhelming for you and you're just going to have to walk away. But I'm going to instill something in you that's going to make you want to grow in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
And yeah, you gotta be about that. Iron sharpen iron, of course. A lot of people don't want to be pushed, but it is a time to be pushed into. If you're passionate about what you're doing, a lot of people be nonchalant in their whatever they feel that God has called them to do. But you put your 110% in whatever He called you to do. Work in the spirit of excellence. And I had a conversation on this week. That a person thought I was being self-centered because I was saying certain things I like to do. But it's not to please people, but it's all about pleasing God and work within the kingdom, because the kingdom is all about order, and you want to pass it on to other people. So it's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
To be to tell people the truth, because a lot of people want yes men. We don't need no yes men in our circle. We need people that's hold us accountable
there's something there.
of our actions, because a lot of people are so used to yes men, and we don't need no yes men in our circle in order to get to the next level.
Right. Yes, man, don't help you grow. They keep you stagnant.
They do. That's the biggest downfall in life is yes, man, and we don't need that. But we're about to take a quick break. I'm about to play a song by the artist here in Mobile. He goes by the name of King David, and we're about to jump into some juicy stuff here with my guest, because she went through some things that she gonna share, and I'm looking for y'all tuning in. Something that's gonna help y'all. So we'll take this quick break. We're gonna jump right back into my conversation with Sophia, and we're going to be right back here on Impact Voice. Enjoy this song by King David.
As I go about the door, Lord, follow me and be my defense, Lord. Fear death, sickness all around me. Ain't gon' lie, Corona kinda scary. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to go around and kill the folk. Man, they think it's a joke, it ain't no joke. I ain't gon' lie, scary when I clear my throat. Clear my nose, in my time. I ain't here to come from China, so I don't add about this vibe. Somebody tell me something. People dying by the minute start to turn a second. Check me running out of time, hard to sleep, thinking about it. What I be next with this mess? We'll be fighting for my life. Or the virus take my kids, my co-workers and my wife. I don't know what holiday, but we here shedding tears. Never been through nothing like it in my 37 years. Who we thought family friends would be dying all alone. Say goodbye when they die till they say I'm on the phone. As I go about the door, Lord, follow me and be my defense, Lord. Fear death, sickness all around me. Ain't gon' lie, Corona kinda scary. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to answer to these questions. Many questions in my head, clouding me. Do they want fly? someday. With the brain control population, usually the virus is the flu, HIV, all the other packages. All I do is trust you, Lord. Please walk in front of me. From my shield, my protection, shield me from all disease. Take away all my fears, negative fears. You have risen from the grave with all power over fear. The fear is of the devil, and I don't want no part of it. Man, God over fear, your president will live. Like the church boy said, it's JESUS. I don't have to be afraid, getting in out my bed. As I go about the door, Lord, go in front of me and be my defense, Lord. Feeling devil, sickness all around me. Ain't no lie, corona kinda scary. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me to be not afraid. I hear you telling me choose not to be afraid. I know it is a hard situation right now, God. For people across the world and across the globe, help us, God. Help us to make it through this. Give us the strength and the courage to defeat this monster that we're up against right now. Lord, I will not be afraid.
Welcome back to Walking This Way's Impact Voice. I'm your host, Furman Jackson, along with my lovely guest, Sophia. That was a song by King David, Not Afraid, and I want everybody to know you don't have to be afraid, because remember, the Bible says God did not give the spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. So we're about to to jump back into the interview with Sophia. Going over your bio, Sophia, you went through a tragic time with a loved one, with someone that you had your vows with, and it ended after 10 years, something that it was very sacred to you. At that time, when that happened, what was going in your mind at that time?
When it was time to leave, or I'm ready to go.
Yeah, when it was time to leave.
Just being honest. So here's the thing. When we are as women, for instance, when we're young, like we're taught to, go to school, go to high school, and you go to college, and you get a job, get married, and you have a bunch of babies, right? We're never taught to get to know ourselves. That never fills into the equation. So me, like many other women that are taught that, I had this fairy tale life that I wanted. I wanted to be married by a certain age. And the thing about it, people don't realize manifestation is real. So I was married by that age. However, the downfall in that is I was not married to the person that I should have been married to. That's basically something that I manifested myself. I knew all along that I shouldn't have been in that relationship. It was not a very healthy relationship. But because he and I both were in ministry together, there was a certain image and a certain posture that I upheld, because I didn't want to let the people down who were looked up to us. But then behind closed doors, like, we were miserable. Like, we weren't happy, for real. We had some good times, don't get me wrong, but us being together as a union, it wasn't good. There came a time, I believe it was in 2010. In 2010, I found out that I was pregnant with what would have been our fifth child. And granted, I won't put all the blame on him, because neither of us really tapped into our faith like we should have. But what hurt me the most was that he was my husband, and although it didn't cross my mind, he put that seed to get an abortion. Like, that's the first thing that he said to me, and that crushed me. And literally from that day on, I never felt the same way about him. I knew that day that our marriage was over. However, again, and I ended up getting an abortion, and it was hurtful. I blame myself and I blame him, because he was supposed to be the one to be there for me and uplift me and to go through these tough times, that we vowed to go through together. So that was at year 5 for us. At year 5, I divorced him emotionally, but I didn't end up leaving the marriage until year 10, and that's simply because I was still trying to keep up with this image. I thought that, my children would be better in a 2-parent household, and things of that nature. But what I came to realize is that once I left, my children actually came to me and began to share some things with me in terms of them wanting to leave a long time ago. They basically said, we were wondering what you were waiting on. We should have left a long time ago, Mama. This was never the place for us. So, you know, you live and you learn. And I went through that process, and eventually I was able to heal because I forgave myself for that act, and I was eventually able to forgive him as well.
And I like how you said how you didn't put all the blame on him, and just something that y'all both went through and y'all both experienced, and to be able to have that type of experience to share with others. And I know, image-wise, all this stuff that we get into, and I know, so I guess now people are learning how to communicate now when it comes to them type of affairs and things like that, because we get so fascinated. And we had a conversation on the broadcast yesterday with my guest. And I said with men, we look so into the outer appearance, we never really get in depth on who we choose as a mate, who we choose as a partner in our lives, and that stuff is very serious when it comes to that. And I know you said you had to live up to an image to the people, and at the end of the day, it's about loving yourself and getting to that place where you know that God wanted you to be. So in the midst of all that, with your marriage, the marriage that failed, you started all over again, and I noticed that you say you start writing several books and novels. So is your books and novels based off the experience that you went through in your life?
Actually, when I started writing, I've been writing since I was 3 years old. I've always wanted to publish a book, but I allowed fear to grip me. Like, I wanted to write, but I didn't want nobody to read the stuff that I was writing because my mind is different. Like, I think very differently than other people. So I was like, ain't nobody going to like this. But back in 2016, I was going through a situation, and I kept asking God, like, you know, why am I going through this? Why isn't anything happening for me? Like, you said that you would open doors for me, and he just kept pointing me back to my gift. He kept taking me back to that scripture, your gift will make room for you, your gift will make room for you. And I was like, well, what are you talking about, Lord? What gift are you talking about? Like, what is it? And so I was watching something happened, and I sat down on my couch one day, and he said, your gift will make room for you, your gift will make room for you. And I turned on my computer, and I saw this novel that I had started writing a few years prior. And what I did was I erased everything that I had initially wrote, and I started writing my very first novel, which I was able to write, edit, and publish within a matter of 2 weeks, which was nonfiction. So since then, I've been writing nonstop. I'm no longer scared to put myself out there because I feel like you either like it or you're not. I mean, I've been told no before. People have told me that they didn't like things that I did before, and it didn't kill me. So, yeah, I've been writing ever since then. This is actually the most intimate that I've ever been. My novel right before this one is called For the Love of Grace, and that's basically where I talk about the abortion and everything that I went through then, which helped me get over that hurdle. But this one is a little bit deeper than that. My newest novel, The Art of Healing, is very intimate, and it goes into some intricate details of the last relationship that I was in, even after my marriage. So, yeah, that's pretty much it about that.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're bringing this out, bringing it to the forefront, because a lot of people deal with this on a regular basis with healing. I love the scripture in James. James lets us know we should confess our faults one to another, then pray, and that they be healed. And that's what I think in this season of time going on, confessing our faults one to another, dealing with relationships, dealing with past issues, dealing with past things that the person dealt with in their past before they actually came together with something new in their lives. And we'll get further into that one also. I know you say you're a mother, and we know in this generation, parenthood is at an all-time high of attack. And when I say that, because I'm a correction officer for the Mobile County Ministry of Jail here in Mobile. I've been doing that for going on 8 years. And I see a lot of young people, especially a lot of young men being incarcerated. A lot of them come from single-parent homes, fathers incarcerated themselves. But I just want to ask you, as you being a mother of 5 beautiful children, what is your vision for motherhood to be able to help your children get to the next level?
You know what? And I've thought about that. I've thought about that on more than one occasion. And honestly, my primary vision for my children is to be able to learn and to walk in their purpose at an early age. I feel like that is what kills a lot of our children's dreams because they don't realize why they're here. Like I said, we spend so much time instilling the wrong things in them. Don't get me wrong, education is good, education is cool, but not everybody's meant to go to college. If I could get back the time and the money that I spent to get the degree that I have, I would definitely do it because I don't even work in that field. That's not even my purpose. That's not what I was taught to do. So my ultimate goal as a mother is to teach my children and to cultivate them in the way that they should go, which is to learn and operate in their purpose. They need to know why they're here, and then they need to step into that so that they can leave a legacy for their children because, believe it or not, our purpose and our gift is what's going to help us leave that legacy. We talk about generational wealth and being able to leave stuff for our children and our children's children. And honestly, it's not just going to come from hard work or working 10 jobs and leaving a 401k or even a life insurance. If you haven't instilled anything in them as far as integrity and character and purpose, they're not going to be able to leave anything to their children. So ultimately, that's what I want to instill in my children, purpose. And I even teach them now. I ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you feel like it is that you have to offer to the world? Like, those are tough questions for children, but they need to know. And it's up to me to make sure that they learn that before they get out into the world by themselves. I will actually have two daughters who are basically adults now. But, I mean, they need to know that because I feel like I'd be doing myself and them a disservice if I didn't prepare them for the real world, if I didn't really give them the behind the scenes or the insights into what they're actually going to be walking into.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. And I was just sitting here thinking as she was talking, parents prepare their children for life. It's not the school system, it's not the neighbor, it's not whomever, it's the parents. Parents prepare their children for life.
Right.
Just like when the pandemic took place, school shut down, a lot of parents was in uproar, like, what I'm gonna do now? I have to work, and my child gonna be at home, and it's like y'all rely more on the school system to help raise your babies instead of you say, you know what? I trust God. He do this thing. I'm just gonna utilize what He gave me to prepare my child. And I had a discussion with a lady recently about this, and she thought I was insulting her intelligence because the Bible said, "Don't just be a hearer of the word, be a doer of the word." And a believer. So you're a believer, we're going to talk the same thing, not just get offended or feel attacked, but it's all about utilizing your faith and going back to the sources and going back to the way God wants things to be. So I respect what you're just saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it's all about. I can't, and I was actually kind of glad because for me, especially by me having such a young child, because I have an 18-month-old as well, I mean, I would prefer to be at home with my child. Like, nobody can teach my children like me. Nobody can love on my children like me. Nobody can steer my children in the right direction like me. So it didn't bother me all that much. Thank you, Lord.
But like I said, you know who your source is. You know who your trust is. A lot of parents now is doing homeschooling, and parents prepare their children for life, not the school board. The school board is only going to provide them with mathematics, reading, all these different subjects, but they're not going to prepare them for life. They're not going to prepare them how to be a man, how to be a woman, how to conduct yourself, how to do this, to do that. It's up to the parents to do that. So I'm glad you had that mentality, that mindset to say, you know what, hey, I'm just going to make the best out of it, be at home, raise my child, help them go in the right direction. So, and then all that, God honors that because you trusted Him first. And then my next question is, I know we're talking about healing, and I know you went through a tragic time, and I know you probably deal with women on a regular basis who went through a broken relationship. What is the first thing you would tell them when they come to you, and how can they start their road to recovery? Because I notice women that go through things, it's kind of hard for them to open up to the next man. So what would you say to a person who comes to you and saying, how can they start their road to healing?
Well, the first thing that you have to do is to be honest with yourself. Believe it or not, there are a lot of women who go through things, and we have the hardest time admitting that there's a problem. Like, we know it's a problem. We recognize it's a problem, but we just won't admit that there's a problem. That's crazy. For me, what I had to do was stop pointing the finger. I had to stop saying, well, they did this to me or they did that to me, and I had to just look in the mirror one day and say, well, Lord, what is it about me? what is it in me that I need to fix? What is it in me that's holding me back from being able to have everything that you have for me? Until you be honest with yourself, until you are open with yourself, you won't be able to heal anything for anybody. So you need to accept the fact that there's a problem, and you need to accept the fact that the problem starts with you. I even talk about this in my new book because I know a lot of people, you know, because of the title and because like the introduction and stuff I shared on social media, people were thinking that this book was about this man who did me wrong. No, baby. This book is about how this man helped bring me back to my source. It's about how this man brought me to my knees done before I met him. Because to be honest with you, I lost my place. I lost my footing after I got into that relationship. So it was actually the best thing that could have ever happened to me. He did what a lot of people could not have. He brought me closer to the one who created me. And until I realized that, you know, I couldn't go anywhere. So this book is basically a guide that's going to help you understand the role that you played in any mishap that there has been in your life. You can blame Peter, Paul, Sam, Pam, or Charlie, but until you look within yourself and see what problems you have, to see what areas you need to be healed from and freed from, then you'll never be to a place where you can receive healing and become whole.
I'm glad you said that because you're the second person that said that. But we're going to take another quick break, and we're going to jump in because this thing is trying to get juicy. And we're about to go ahead and jump into another track by the boy C Now. Then after that, we're going to jump right back into Impact because we're going to get into some juicy stuff. So I hope y'all ears are ready to hear what's going to be said. So after C Now, we're going to jump right back into the interview.
Now when I met you, you ain't even have a penny. Took you out that cotton and put you up in some linen. Took you out that hoop there and bought you a Lexus. I never left Mobile, so I took you out to Texas. Showed you how a real nigga ball when he on. Told you ex he call again, he gon' smell my cologne. Didn't nobody know you, now they all know your name. Feel like I'm dry snitching, drop the time on your chain. You was love at first sight, so I put a ring on it. Feel like you had my back, so I put your name on it. Feds picked me up, you were right there by my side. Came home to a stranger, same face, different why. But I just brushed it off like maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe she the same, I'm the one that's different. Never thought a woman that was such a good friend of me would stab me in the back. I've been sleeping with the enemy. Man, hold up. It'll never be the same, baby. We done caused each other too much pain, baby. Can't you never let it burn? Charge it all to the game and take it as lesson learned. Got 20/20 vision, but I ain't see this one coming. I was just Superman and you were my superwoman. Fell out of love with me and fell in love with the fame. 21 years gone down the drain. You be asking side chicks for some marriage advice. That's about the stupidest thing I done seen in my life. Niggas told you a dream, you got caught in the hype. He don't like it, just wanna say he hidden see now white. Played yourself like Taraja and acrimony. Think I'm coming back, you out your noodles, no macaroni. Found me a new boo, find that you cute too. Put me on child support, do whatever suits you. Them couple dollars can't compare to what you coulda had. Cause stay in the rain now, I bet you wish you woulda had. Thought the grass was greener, now you're lonely and single. Throwing pity parties, watching me perform in arenas. Hey. It'll never be the same, baby. We done caused each other too much pain, baby. Can't you never let it burn? Charge it all to the game and take it as lesson learned. Set me free when you left me. Fresh Prince, but you were trying to just adjust me. It's all Gucci like my name, Roger Davis. And don't be having all them busters around my babies. Other than that, I ain't got no beef with you, shouted. Maybe some pork, but I'm trying to make peace with you, shouted. Caught me a bum, now you out here living with regret. I'm making meals and you out here living check to check. Know you upset, girl, ain't nobody setting you. I'm stunned with my new boo. Know you Mr. Phillip head, but I'll never screw you. $2,000 a month for child support, you must be cuckoo. You gon' have to get it in blood, baby. So woo, you done forgot who's who. You a nobody, truth be told. I'm the star in this movie. You just got the supporting role. I'm the plug, baby girl. You just got the supporting hole. Talk that trash, but you know I'm the one come out your booty hole. It'll never be the same, baby. We done caused
Welcome back to Walking This Way's Impact Voice. I'm your host, Furman Jackson, along with my lovely guest, Sophia. We're having a great time here on Impact. We're about to ready to jump into some juicy detail. Not that juicy. She said something that was very important. That's the second time I heard that from somebody. I know you mentioned, Sophia, about your book. Your book was it not to tear down your husband, but he helped you get to where you need to be at. Explain to the listening audience when you just said that not so long ago.
I mean, because a lot of times we allow outside forces to certain way or be a certain way when actually the problem is on the inside. So in no way was I going to try to point the finger at him. My intent was not to belittle him or to make him look bad, because had I not gotten into the situation with this person, had I not come into contact with this person, I probably would not have been able to get back to this place that I need to be, and be so strong and so bold with it. But so if nothing else, I have to tell him thank you. Thank you for pushing me. Thank you for the things that you did to me that caused me to get back in relationship with my Father and get back in relationship with my Creator, because if not, child, ain't no telling where I would be in this little world right here. So yeah, he was a great help. It wasn't. I looked at it as a bad thing because, granted, it didn't feel good when I was going through the process. It didn't feel good when I was being mistreated. None of that felt good. But for me to be able to come out of what I went through, that's the part that I'm most grateful for.
Yeah, because when I heard that before, like you said, you did a book, you wrote a book. It wasn't to tear down your husband or belittle your husband, because a lot of people love myths. And I'm glad you said that your book is uplifting. Because a lot of people love myths, like the hood novels, they full of myths. Tell-all books is full of myths. They want all these juicy details, and it's always one-sided. It's not about I imagine they did something in that relationship, but people just love myths. But I'm glad you said that, because your book is to uplift others, but also he helped push you and catapult you where you need to be at. And I love you for saying that, because you all about positivity, positive vibes. So I give you a hand clap on that one.
Thank you. Hey, that's what. So for anybody who thought, it was some mess, or if you came looking for drama, I do apologize, but I definitely hope you leave delivered. My goal. If you came looking for drama, I hope you leave delivered.
Amen. Because that's what a lot of people look for. Oh, you went through a marriage, and he was in ministry. Girl, I got to hear about that, 'cause I know you got some juicy details, but you shamed the devil on that one. So big up to you on that one. I respect you on that one. And also, my next question is, with your books and stuff, I know you got some other business projects already in the works. 'Cause I know I looked at your face. You went Facebook Live yesterday, and I know you have stuff to do with oils, right? So how did that all come about with your oils and stuff like that?
You know what? And God is so good, man. He's just so good, because I originally said, and I shared that I didn't want to write this book, and it had a lot to do with pride. I didn't want people to know what I had gone through, like, because it was something else. Like, I didn't want people to know that I had got played like that, So when I found the courage to, first of all, write the book and just be obedient to God, because he had already been telling me to write the book and just get it out there. And doors have been just opening all kinds of ways. And actually a friend reached out to me, because I was just going to write the book. Like, okay, Lord, I wrote the book. You told me to write the book, and that's what I did. But I had been praying and fasting and asking God, okay, what else do you want me to do? Is there anything that I need to add? Because I was honestly just content with writing the book. And so I had a friend that called me, and she was like, girl, you don't realize what you just did. She was like, you need to come up with something else. She said, I don't care what you do, whether it be some candles and other stuff that she mentioned. She said, but this is a whole vibe. This is a movement. So you can't just stop at this book. You got to do something else. And we just began to talk, and she began to tell me some things. And while she was talking, Holy Spirit was talking, and I was just like, okay, I think I'm, because I've never done anything like this in my life. First of all, I would never think about doing nothing. And Holy Spirit was talking to me and feeding me at the same time. That's actually how I was able to come up with these oils. I prayed about it. I asked God what to put in each individual oil. I did everything that He told me to do to help them reach their purpose, because it didn't stop at just putting some oils together. It wasn't that. It was some other things that He had me to do to make sure that once they reached the person, that the oils were able to fulfill the purpose that He set out for them to do.
And that's awesome. And I'm glad you was obedient to the will of the Father for your life, our Heavenly Father, because He knows the best. He knows, I love what He says in Jeremiah, He knows the thoughts He thinks towards us, they are good and not of evil, bring to our expected end.
Mm-hmm.
But also with the novels and the oils and stuff, where can the listener audience go to purchase items and things like that? And let me stress that to the people that love free stuff. It's not all about free stuff. Pay for people's services. They put their own money and they invest their time and energy. No, because why I say that
Right.
for Sophia, because a lot of people want freebies all the time, especially within the black community, especially with family and stuff like, oh man, hook me up, hook me up. You know, hook me up. Support means help out, even if you have to share stuff, but that's another broadcast for another time. But what can
But you know what,
the listener audience go?
I'm glad you
Go ahead.
brought that up. I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought that up.
No, go ahead.
Because honestly, in the business world, they tell you don't market to your family and friends because those are not going to be your customers. But what I can say, and I say this with all honesty, and because I'd be a liar if I didn't. When I say my close friends and family members, like those people who really rock with me, when I say they have pretty much bought out everything that I've had and had to restock, they really supported a sister in this, and they didn't ask for nothing free. I tried to give my god sister something free, and she was like, girl, I'm gonna pay for this. So even my mama, she was like, I'm gonna buy it. So I just thank God for the support system that I have, for the team that I have behind me, because nobody asked for anything free. They bought multiples of what I had. So, you know, that's an area that I have been graced and blessed in. So I'm thankful for that. But for anyone who is looking to get the novel or the workbook, because there's a workbook that goes along with the novel as well. And I told you I want you healed all together. Anything like that, you can go to my website at sophialatriece.com. That's SOPHIALATRIECE.com. And I actually have a bundle pack where you can get the workbook, the novel, and essential oil all together at a discounted price.
Awesome. So I know you say you're a teacher, so you just put people to work too with the workbook. How did that all go together with the law and the workbook? It's like you want to give some people some serious life study knowledge. So how did that roll with the novel, with the book and the workbook?
A few years ago, I did a broadcast about my bout with depression, because I've struggled with it for over 20 some odd years. And when I did that broadcast, I had somebody reach out to me, and I was like, girl, I had to take notes and do some bullet points, because I didn't take it seriously. I was just sharing my story. And I did bullet points and all this. She said, I'm going to go through step by step and do everything that you said. And so during that time, a light bulb came on, so I created a journal off that broadcast. The thing about it is nobody who's brought that journal was able to get through it, because it's so heavy, and it requires a lot of self-evaluation. It requires a lot of soul searching. So this time around, I made it a little more fun. So when you do your soul searching and your self-evaluation, you get a fun activity after that. The goal of this workbook and the book is basically to help you be whole. People learn differently. People apply things to their lives differently. So some people can't just read the novel. Some people need some additional work afterwards in order to help them on their journey. So that's basically why I decided to revamp that particular journal and put this one with it.
Awesome. And like I say, just bringing in that knowledge. And I know when it comes, you said, helping people within the healing. And I know when it comes to the faith community, they don't understand that it takes work to bring forth healing. They just some believe, well, you just pray and trust God and He brings forth the healing. How do you explain that to a person who's a faith believer? Because they get the concept misplaced it, because they think I pray and that's it. But it's more than just praying. You have to put in the effort to bring forth the manifestation. How do you explain that?
In a nutshell, faith without works is dead. The Bible says that. So you can pray till you're blue in the face, but if you're not doing any type of work to go along with that faith, it's only basically just falling on deaf ears. Your prayers aren't going past the ceiling. And a lot of times people get it misconstrued because you can pray about something, but you have to understand that prayer is a conversation. It's not just you talking to God. You have to take the time to listen to him as well, right? So people will pray,
Right.
and then God will give you instructions on what to do in order to get what you're seeking, but you miss that because you figure, I just got to tell God he's going to do that. No, baby. See, the thing about it is God is a perfect gentleman. He can't make you do anything. He's not going to snap his fingers and all of a sudden say, well, all right, you said it, this is what you want, but here. No. It's going to take you having to do some work because if he were to do that, then what you would do is fall right back in the same place that you were before. And you'll be doing that same prayer over and over again, and it's redundant. So he gives us instructions of things to do to get rid of it altogether, but unless we follow those instructions, then it's not going to do us any good. I talk about in my book that one of the things in healing, it requires a lifestyle change. Anything that you're trying to do, if you're asking God to show you something, lead you somewhere, you're going to have to make a change in your lifestyle. You can't keep going back to the same thing that broke you or that got you off track, expecting a different result. I think the definition of that is insanity. So in order to get what you really want, you're going to have to change your lifestyle in some type of way. You're going to have to heed to the instructions, and you're going to have to follow through with them. So now I want to point out there is a difference, though. There is something called deliverance. If someone has the spiritual gift of deliverance and healing, then that's something different. They can pray for you and lay hands on you, and you'll be healed or delivered during that deliverance ministry. However, they will even tell you to stop doing some things that you're doing. So at the end of the day, no matter which way you go, you're always going to get some instructions to help you to continue along the path of your healing or your deliverance.
Awesome stuff, and that's words to the wise, because one of the realest prayers I heard in the Bible, and I say realist, some people probably think that I'm being worldly when I say that, but I don't care. Solomon, Solomon asked God for wisdom. He asked for something that he needed. He was about to be in a position to lead people. He was not like his father David. But he asked for wisdom, and God gave him everything he didn't ask for. And that prayer got God's attention. Because he didn't ask for long life. He didn't ask for riches for himself. He asked for what he needed. And he said wisdom. And we know wisdom comes with a lot of wealth of knowledge, of certain moves, certain things that we can't do, certain things that will lead up to things that may cause us to reap the consequence later on. And I just love that because he just asked for wisdom. And also, Sophia, my next question, if we're here to get off the air, legacy. Proverbs talks about a good name. A good name is better than riches. So when people hear your name, what do you want your legacy to be?
Honestly, and I've talked about me and God struggle with this because I had a lot of opposition when I first came out, announced about the book and the content or what have you. And even going through the process of my healing process. And I was like, well, Lord, people out here, throwing dirt on my name, and I'm out here trying to make a name for myself. I'm out here trying to build a brand. And God stopped me right there. And he said, I told you that I would make your name great. So why are you trying to do my job for me? And in that very moment, when they hear my name, all I want them to know is that there's a man from Galilee who healed the sick, and he set me free. So I don't even want them to recognize me. I want them to know the man that saved my life. I want them to know the man that did what he did for me. Sophia Latriece, that name is going to fade away one day. One day that they might forget about me when all this is over with. But I want them to know the man who saved my life, and that man is Jesus Christ. Sophia Latriece and Jesus Christ. If they can connect them two together, hey, that's good for me.
And that sums it up right there. So we got to get ready to get off the air as we get to press for time. So, Sophia Latriece, do you have any final remarks for the listening audience here on Impact Voice?
Basically, never be ashamed of anything that you've gone through. You'd be surprised at how many people you can help by telling your story. Don't let anyone dim your light. You may think that your story is minute, but by you sharing and giving it to the world, you'd be surprised how many people that you can save. So tell your story, let your light shine, and direct it to the one who created it. And that's basically it. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Sophia_Latriece_. I am on Snapchat, which I use sometimes, Sophia_Latriece, and I'm on Facebook, just Sophia Latriece.
Awesome. Yeah, I heard it first, and I thank you once again, Sophia, for taking time out your busy schedule to be here joining me on this lovely Sunday on the Walking This Way Impact Voice. And you're welcome. And like I said, the replay will be up, just in case you missed it live. The replay will be up on Blog Talk Radio. It will be up on my website at www.walkinghiswaysimpactvoice.com. Also, it will be on Spotify, added on Apple Podcasts, so you can go back on either one of those outlets to check out the interview just in case you missed it. And like I said, I thank you once again, Sophia. And once again, the invitation is always open for you to be a guest here on Impact Voice.
Thank you so much.
And I thank you again. So everybody ready to close out. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody have a great Sunday. Make the best out of your Sunday. Take time out to overlook some things, examine yourself. Always get better, always get wiser. And I'll be back here next week on Walking This Way Impact Voice. Till then, be blessed, be inspired, be iconic, and always remember, you are the GOAT. And I celebrate your ministry, and I celebrate you. I love y'all. Take care. Peace.
Baptist, Pentecostal, Holiness, Seventh-day Adventist, Church of God in Christ. What's yours, man? Take your pick. Listen, what's your denomination?
What's your denomination? What church you attend? If Jesus ain't the head, it won't matter in the end. What's your denomination? Presbyterian, Baptist, even if you Catholic, that won't give you past. Your denomination, when it comes to the word, only faith in Jesus can save from the curse. What's your denomination? Yeah, tell me what's the name? If Christ ain't the king, your religion in vain. Catholic, Baptist, or Seventh-day Adventist, Holiness, Pentecostal, or Jehovah's Witness. Please know the difference, either saved or not. Have you come to repentance so they grave your plot? Man made it out, denominational division. That's the number one reason I confuse religion. We lost sight of the vision and fight for positions when we all just serve it that's been forgiven. See, our sins was christened like we played for Coach Saban, but only by the blood they washed clean, so amazing. And no, I ain't condemning when you choose to go and worship, but Jesus ain't head, your denomination. What's your denomination? What church you attend? If Jesus ain't the head, it won't matter in the end. What's your denomination? Presbyterian, Baptist, even if you Catholic, that won't give you past. Your denomination, when it comes to the word, only faith in Jesus can save from the curse. What's your denomination? Yeah, tell me what's the name? If Christ ain't the king, your religion in vain. One God, one faith, and one baptism. So tell me why religion has so much division. Cause man make decisions, never seeking the head. So a body with no brain just walk around dead. Yeah, you heard what I said, I ain't biting my tongue. There's no life without Christ, so let his kingdom come. How can we be so dumb, but consider so smart? Too many commentary teachers say the spirit of God. So why you rap so hard? Cause people going to hell. Too many know what's real, but too afraid to tell. But dude, I'm scared to fail when I was chose to win. Like a fire Jeremiah, I can't hold it in. What's your denomination? What church you attend? If Jesus ain't the head, it won't matter in the end. What's your denomination? Presbyterian, Baptist, even if you Catholic, that won't give you past. Your denomination, when it comes to the word, only faith in Jesus can save from the curse. What's your denomination? Yeah, tell me what's the name? If Christ ain't the king, your religion in vain. So the answer to this letter and moral of the story, let your work be for God and all for his glory. Don't fall for the trick of the enemy's plan, cause divided we fall, but together we stand. Nobody's better cause they hold
holiness, we all should be holy. Or even if you baptize the ordinance solely for your public expression, baptized in the Christ. But your faith in the cross is what gives eternal life. I know they looking at the stripes, but the truth through the cut. All these man-made religion and trees producing nothing. And you can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. It's there for a while and the evidence that. What's your denomination? What church you attend? If Jesus ain't the head, it won't matter in the end. What's your denomination? Presbyterian, Baptist, even if you Catholic, that won't give you past. Your denomination, when it comes to the word, only faith in Jesus can save from the curse. What's your denomination? Yeah, tell me what's the name. If Christ ain't the king, your religion in vain.
Yeah, there's one body and one spirit, even as you are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4 through 6. What's your denomination? I hope it's Jesus. Yeah.
You are now listening to the most talked about blog talk radio station in the universe. Walking His ways, Impact Voice Radio. Be prepared to have your mind stimulated, your spirit elevated in ways you couldn't even imagine. Introducing your host and the mastermind behind this unforgettable experience, Thurman Jackson Jr. You will not be disappointed.